All right, so recently I started doing a course, and part of the course requirements was to make sure that we do some talks and that we post those talks to Facebook. So it's quite an exciting time and quite a new time for me in terms of doing this. And I thought what I'll talk about today is streams lead to dreams fulfilled. Okay, so that's what I want to talk to you about today. Streams lead to dreams fulfilled. So what I'd encourage you to do is just open your mind and get really, really curious as to what I might be on about. And hopefully that will allow you to enjoy the talk. And when you start feeling a bit unsettled and thinking, oh, I'm not too sure about this, it's a bit new, just remember that growth always lies on the flip side of uncertainty. So that's just your uncertainty coming up because you may be hearing something that you're unfamiliar with. So also you might notice, hearing yourself, perhaps the fear part of you, the ego, saying, well, look, we tend to sometimes dismiss what we don't know. So maybe just stay really curious and find out as much as you can. And perhaps you'll even be able to see yourself doing really well with some of these ideas. So streams lead to dreams fulfilled, and what I hope to be able to do in the next couple of minutes together is give you some nudgings, some urgings that maybe will just make you think a little bit outside the squares that you're currently thinking in, or really reinforce for you that you are on exactly the right track, just the way you are, which of course is great facilitation. So that's what I'm hoping to do, and why am I looking to do this for you? I'd really like you to know some benefits. So streams lead to dreams fulfilled. So what do I mean by that? What I've noticed is, and something that makes me feel quite sad, is that a lot of people I notice really struggling financially. And whether it's just $18 for a DVD or something like that, I'm hearing things like, I can't afford that this week. I really want it. I'll have to wait till next pay, and so forth. And it's just such a struggling place to be in. And what I'd love to be able to do is just share some ideas with you that, if embraced, could really change that for you. And so what am I talking about? I'm talking about things like multiple streams of income. Okay, so instead of just sticking with the traditional path of being just a salaried employee, what else could you be? And how else could you generate income into your life in a way that's really quite beautiful and quite easy and quite natural, and takes the pressure off that initial salary employee job? The idea, reading a book every couple of weeks for the last 6 years, has given me a lot of insight into other people's minds and what other people think on some really important topics. And one of these topics, of course, is wealth. And the idea is that you want to get away from exchanging time for money. Okay, so much of us have kind of caught up in this idea of time for money, always exchanging time for money. That's fine to a point, but it's finite because you only have so much time. And if you're in that time for money trap, you're always going to be in the time for money trap, okay? There's no way that your tomorrow is going to look much different than your today if that's the place that you're in. So what's the alternatives? Of course, the alternative is to create multiple streams of income. So do some of the time for money stuff, okay? Awesome. However, intersperse that with a couple of other streams of income. Okay, and that's what I'd like to talk to you about today, is streams create dreams fulfilled. So getting away from the time for money, and also the other benefit to multiple streams of income is it allows you to handle adversity in life. So if you're going through a tough time in one aspect, so for me, I have 3 ways in which I generate income. And if one of those areas is not going so well, say my salary job isn't going so well, it doesn't have the impact. It doesn't have the devastation that it once would have, because I know, okay, so I've got the salary job, I've got the coaching job, and I've got the network marketing job. And so I've got 3 different ways that income is coming into my world. And it just takes the pressure off any one of those ways to have to perform. There's never that tight, pressure-packed feeling of something having to work. because they're all working and they're all actually complementing each other. So multiple streams of income does allow you to handle adversity in a much more normal and natural way. The other thing it does is, as long as one of those streams of income is passive, you can work your way up to that. Then what that then allows you to do is you can go on holidays, but your income doesn't. Okay, so you are not in the exchanging time for money trap. You're away on your holidays, lovely, and your income is still coming in. So that's my philosophy on getting yourself into a much richer, fuller, and more wonderful place. And the other thing that comes to mind is, another benefit is, would you rather be watching time, or would you rather be watching a team? Okay, so one of the most enjoyable things, particularly say in the network marketing realm, is it's a team. It's this cohesive unit of people all working together, and that can be so enjoyable, because instead of sitting there watching the clock thinking, God, I've got to get going, I really would rather not be doing this, you're actually with a team of people and you're sparking off each other, and there's that sense of collaboration and so forth. So would you rather be watching a time, or would you rather be watching a team? Just something to think about as far as this topic goes. So what are some of your options? Well, one of the biggest examples in our era, of course, is Facebook. What do we know about Facebook? Well, we know that it spread completely through word of mouth. Fascinating story. And it's something like this. I don't have the figures exactly right, but there's around about 6-point-something billion people on the planet, I believe, and around about 2.8 of those are Facebook users. So it's an incredible statistic. However, there was no remuneration scheme in place, and so everyone who recommended their friends and so forth join Facebook, nothing came their way as a result of that. Just a really interesting story, but look what's happened to Facebook. And even if we all got $1 for every person we recommended, and then they got $1 and so forth, we would all be quite wealthy today. So Facebook's a huge example of this kind of way of business in the modern era. Another cracking one is Uber. So I don't know how many of you have recently caught a cab, or how many of you have used the Uber app. But basically what that's done to travel is what Netflix has done to Blockbuster. It's really cut out that middleman, that need for the taxi license, the taxi ranks, and all that sort of stuff. A phenomenal thing that has occurred there. And there are other examples too that we find. So multiple streams of income, very important, I feel. And one of those streams of income, as I say, you can have your salary job, great. There's a little bit of time for money exchange. There's also the safety, security, and stability of the salary job. So it's not to be dismissed or played down on. It's very worthwhile. However, what else can we be doing in addition to that? And as I'm suggesting, so for myself, I've got the salary job, I've got the coaching business, and then I've also got the network marketing business. And so the network marketing business, that's more like investing time now that's going to set you up for your future, because that's all about residual income. And if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, of course, the seminal book by Robert Kiyosaki, he talks in there all about this sort of stuff. And he actually wrote another book which is nowhere near as well known, and was just called Business School for People Who Like Helping People. And in that book, he overtly promotes network marketing and how potent it can be, how powerful it can be, and his belief in getting involved in some sort of a network marketing thing so that you can get the king of all types of income, residual income you don't have to work for. So really interesting stuff there. And the why we do it, it's because it takes pressure off us, and because it allows us to have opportunities to live life, to actually live it, as opposed to always being under the pump and always having to be somewhere and always fitting in with other people's schedules, itineraries, goals, dreams, and aspirations. Because you're empowering yourself to create your own goals, dreams, and aspirations. The other thing that you're doing is, I love the idea of Oprah says that, you can't help anybody else unless your own cup is full. And there are a lot of people with beautiful hearts that would dearly love to be helping and assisting those less fortunate, but they just can't do it because they themselves aren't in a great position. So I am so driven, massively driven, by wanting to make a huge impact on those that are nowhere near as fortunate as myself. And the only way I can do that is to get myself into an increasingly fortunate situation. And so once again, streams create your dreams. And it's about blending, a coaching practice with a salary job and a network marketing business for me. And it might be a couple of different streams for you. Whatever works for you is wonderful. But this is what I'm definitely suggesting that you do. So how do you choose what to do? So let's pick one of those. Network marketing. How do you pick? Well, the first thing I would say is trust, okay? Who's recommended it to you? Do you trust them? If it's a friend of yours, if it's someone you know, love and trust, then chances are what they're recommending to you is going to be very well worth listening to, okay? Because they're your friend, they love you, they've got your best interests at heart, okay? So the only reason they're sharing with you is they want you to enjoy and experience the things that they're already enjoying and experiencing. So it makes all the sense in the world to really listen to your friend and hear what they've got to say and why they've got to say it. Very important. So trust is huge in terms of the person that's sharing with you. What else is important in my view? Well, trust in the network marketing organisation that you're getting involved with. How long have they been around for? What do they stand for? Have they won any awards? Are those awards of note? Do they have physical offices somewhere? So a lot of the stuff that people get all fearful and afraid of, it's baseless. It may have been based in truth once, some other place and some other time, but a lot of it isn't. It's just carryover fear. So let's get the trust factor right up on the person that's sharing with us and the entity that they're sharing. A couple of really key things there. And if you feel that the person is a good person and a genuine person, they're a loving friend of yours, then you're well on your way to being able to make an outstanding choice. And just remember, one of my mentors always says to me, the more uncertainty you can handle, the more success you will introduce into your life. And I have 100% found that in my life. This last year for me, so many things have come into my life that I never could have dreamed of. Only 12 months ago. Beautiful things, and wealth's been part of that. And it's been my ability to embrace uncertainty and say yes when I otherwise wouldn't have, that's created massive amounts of opportunity. And the uncertainty sucks sometimes. It's a crappy feeling. It's hard to get used to, but I'm getting more and more used to it, and it's allowing more and more expansive things. So what are some of the reasons that people say no to opportunities that would otherwise be delightful for them? No time. That's the classic. I just don't have time. At the end of the day, if you're looking at an opportunity that's going to take a couple of hours a week and then later free up 30 or 40 hours a week, then you seriously don't have the time to not look into it. That's definitely what I'd say about that. No money, that's another cracker. Look, some opportunities cost a fortune. So if you're talking about a timeshare and it's 12 or 15 grand, who's got 12 or 15 grand just floating around? It can be quite difficult, but there are some amazing opportunities out there for a couple of $100. Absolutely amazing. A couple of $100, and you have the possibility to, in a couple of years, be earning many thousands of dollars, many thousands of dollars, and residual. So phenomenal, and just for a couple of $100. So no money, not really a valid excuse there for yourself. Not now is a great thing, but then if not now, when? And if not you, who? Why don't you deserve the good stuff? Why don't you deserve what you see and feel and hear elsewhere? Of course you do. So go grab it for yourself. Okay? If not now, when? And if not you, who? So go get yourself some of that. The other thing is, I'm not a salesperson. You know what? If the opportunity is awesome and you love it, then all you're going to be doing is just sharing it with a friend, just like you would after you watched a movie and you loved it. Because, of course, if you're a good person, which of course you are, and you love something, then it's the most normal and natural thing in the world to share it. So don't worry about that one. That's not a problem. Other things that people say, oh, it's a scam. Well, it could be. But that's where we get to the other thing. Look into it. Is the person that's sharing it with you trustworthy? Is the entity trustworthy? We already covered that. But just beware of fear-based thinking. Remember, fear means false evidence appearing real. Okay? Fear, false evidence appearing real. So just check in with yourself. Something in me, some programming in me is saying, "Oh, it's a scam." Well, is it? Suss it out and go from there. The other thing I'd like to say is, how's it all resonating with you? And sometimes you'll be sitting there in the midst of an opportunity, knowing full well that it's gold, but there's just fear there because it's new. And on the other side of all uncertainty lies growth. So check in with that fear. If it's genuinely there to protect you, cool, respond to that. However, if it's just fear for fear's sake, false evidence appearing real, step through that. And on the other side of that, there's some beautiful stuff there. Multiple income streams, remembering that dreams create dreams. Okay, definitely so. So in summary, streams do create dreams, and be open, be curious, and never prejudge an opportunity. You look at your Richard Bransons, you look at your Robert Kiyosaki's, you look at your Tony Robbins, you look at, I don't know, the endless people that you can read books about who at some point had the guts and the courage to actually say yes to an opportunity. And they expanded upon that to then create other opportunities and then other opportunities. And now what these people get to do is lavishly help those less fortunate than them, which could there be any greater purpose to our living? So a couple of things to think about there, and remembering too that you are not a network marketer, you are not a salaried employee, you are not a coach or whatever it is else that you do. They are just vehicles that you, the soul, who comes from the same collective consciousness as everybody else, chooses to hop into that vehicle and invest yourself into it for a period of time, knowing full well that you are setting yourself up for a really, really delightful future. Okay, so hopefully there's been some value there for you guys. It is a topic I'm passionate about. I do always feel very upset when I hear folks just struggling for the basic and most simple type things in life and living bill to bill day to day. It doesn't have to be that way. There's way too much knowledge out there. Knowledge is power when acted upon. And if you're curious about anything that you've heard today, just hit me up and I'm happy to chat with you and help out if I can. So I hope this has been worthwhile and that you're going to have a great week ahead. Okay.